Hey Sag, this is our reading for mid-February and or Pisces season 2020. I know we are a little bit late for mid-February, but hopefully the message is actually right on time for you. Emperor reversed will be the first card out. I hope you're all making the most of Pisces season so far. Eight of Swords, Eight of Air, also reversed. Okay. So a lot of you are consumed with things that are outside of your control. You're feeling a little powerless at this time and finding that you just need to free yourself from some limiting beliefs in order to, let's do this. We got an extra card that I didn't expect, so but yeah, I think you're feeling powerless and then finding at the end of this month that you're just needing to free yourself from the belief that it's out of your control. Bottom of the deck, you do have the Chariot card here, Sag. A very fearsome depiction. High Priestess card wanted to show there as well. So I think it's less that you haven't had the power, you haven't had the control, you haven't had the means to guide some aspect of your life in the way that you wanted, or maybe many aspects at once, and more that it just wasn't time yet. No one could have controlled those outside circumstances, and it simply just wasn't time yet. Maybe that is the perspective shift that we need. That is where you're going to stop feeling like a victim of divine timing. Yes, that is something that is outside of your power, right? But it's not something that's happening to you. It's something that's happening for you, really. It's an extra guidance system that just sort of works automatically. And I guess that can be very frustrating when we don't know why we're being led the way we're being led, why the route is taking so long. But yeah, I see you on your own going ahead and coming out of that feeling of being a victim of circumstance and timing. And maybe there is someone who has been very dominating and egoic around you, who has also been leaving you feeling victimized in some sense. We do have Aries energy showing up twice. It might be an Aries. It could be a Cancerian energy. I really sense that this Chariot energy is more so your own, though. We also have Scorpio energy on the table. And you know, this Wheel of Fortune card reversed here can also be speaking to just bad luck, misfortune. Some of you can just be owning and accepting and dealing with the fact that yes, you have seen some bad luck, some misfortune. And again, that doesn't necessarily make you a victim or powerless or anything any more out of your control than it is for anyone else. It's just something that you have to accept, a time period that you have to forgive and put behind you, right? But whomever's ego is being shed here, I'm so sorry about the shaking. In any case, whomever's ego we see being shed here in this first card, in the Emperor reversed, there's a definite nod to the High Priestess energy showing up twice here on the bottom of the clarifier deck. And I think it's probably all the clarification that I'm going to need. And then, of course, the Priestess here in the Game of Thrones tarot. It's this intuitive knowing, this intuitive energy, and or additional psychic energy that has allowed this ego to be shed. Now, that, and I say whomever's ego because it may be your own, right? Or this could be, as I said, an egocentric individual around you who's been suppressing you, or trying to control you. There's a lot of physical confirmation about that. So that is the case for a lot of you. And it may have been a Cancerian energy. It may have been an Aries energy. Again, the Scorpio energy here is more advice in this spread. The Death card here, that a rebirth, a transformation is necessary, and we seem to be moving away from this Two of Chalices, Two of Water energy, putting this energy in the past. That does not necessarily mean that all of you, that or any of you for that matter, are having like a split from a romantic partner. When I say moving out of a Two of Chalices energy, that's moving out of a couple that is a partnership splitting. It doesn't necessarily mean a romantic partnership, though. But you know, a controlling partner, in a masculine energy, at least recently, of some sort, is exactly what we're looking at for a lot of you. So often in these readings, you know, a lot of the meat of the message and a lot of the point, really, it doesn't quite matter if it's a romantic connection necessarily or not. And often those details are really important, and it's you know, we just have to pick and choose with these general readings. But across the board, the Death card tells us to shed an old state of being, and the Two of Chalices is representing this, what we're putting in the past, what we're moving away from. So some partnership that has formed, either your own intuitive and or other psychic knowings have told you that it's time to shed that egoic, controlling energy partner, or someone else's intuition, someone else's psychic senses could have really guided you here. Again, that may be the Cancerian energy you see coming through. That Cancer energy could be in you. That Aries energy could be in you. It's not unlikely that there's Scorpio as well with the Death card here. But it's either saying it's time for this partnership to totally transform, or it's time to shed that partnership. A rebirth is necessary, regardless of what kind of partnership, regardless of whether or not you even try to keep it and hold on to it at this point. And again, I just want to say there's this really strong nod to that intuition, that psychic knowing. So this is a guide, a teacher, some source of wisdom, or your own knowings, feelings, intuition, psychic senses that are in the process of awakening and growing, right? That should really continue to be heeded, that you need to show gratitude towards and for, whether it's in you or in someone else. Remember that those, how much, you know, these tools have helped, or this person, whether it's you or them. Honor it, respect it, put it in its place as far as the kind of source for knowledge and wisdom that you check with before making decisions as you move forward. Because like I said, I do get the feeling that the Chariot card is actually representing you for most of you. And so this shows you seeing a victory here in overcoming this ego. And again, for a lot of you, that's just your own ego. Not necessarily being completely shed, but the relationship completely changing and transforming that you have with how much it controls you, with how much it limits you, with how uncomfortable it makes you with waiting. And so this victory is only the beginning, right? The Chariot card always reminds us of that. The victory is always only the beginning. It always reminds us that it's only the beginning. So yeah, moving forward, you want to, from this victory that had so much to do with yours or someone's intuition and psychic knowing, you want to remember to check that source. Again, respect it, honor it, show gratitude for it. To keep it, and also that will keep it fresh in your mind. It was not a fluke. It was not a one-time thing, that this inner knowing of yours, or this wisdom that you obtained somehow, it's really a connectedness, right? This being in tune and being connected and having that just sort of knowing, that feeling or knowing. It was not a one-time thing or a fluke. This is what the Chariot needs to, yes, this is what this Chariot needs to continue to guide it forward. This is the other half of the guidance system that I started to ramble about at the beginning. You know, if the divine timing, frustrating though it may be, is allowed to be one part of the guidance system, right? Then the other half of that are those intuitive knowings for you, those psychic senses and intuitive knowings. And I think for most of you, those are your own, and they should be, and will be. But if it's someone else who is pointing you in the right direction, or just helping to awaken those things within you to begin with, then that is, you know, just where we're all doing that for one another all the time, right? And that's just where you're at with it at this moment. And then that is your own intuition and inclination to follow the wisdom that seems to be helping you at this point, right? And I don't mean follow as in just continue to follow someone else's, but allow it to point you towards your own, to help to awaken your own. Sure, of course. I mean, we're all doing that for each other all the time. But I do think for most of you, we're talking about your own inner knowings. But it's psychic and intuitive wisdom for sure, wherever it's coming from. And ultimately it is leading you toward a reversal of fortune with this Ace of Earth here reversed in the more distant outcome. This is a reversal of fortune. This is what you've been waiting for. This is why the rebirth has to happen. You definitely want to take advantage of whatever opportunity it may come in the form of, right? And you want to spot that opportunity. And this is a key reason why your intuition needs to continue to lead. And, you know, the Chariot is two separate energies, you know, focusing on one path and ultimately one destination. And so that goal, right, It's not really depicted as clearly here as it is in the radiant Rider Waite over here, but it you know, it's steered by two sphinxes, and I'm sure almost all of you, if not all of you, can picture exactly what I'm talking about. But regardless, that's what's happening with divine timing and your intuition. That's that guidance system I'm talking about. I'll stop digging now. I thought it would be closer for us. But it's leading toward this reversal of fortune. Definitely. Absolutely. You've seen one victory, and as I said, that's only the beginning. The next is also directly connected to your intuition continuing to lead, it looks like. But you may have to continue to tame that ego, especially if it's within you. Or maybe if it's someone who's coming around or continuing to voice their opinion in your workplace or your home, etc., community, whatever. Either way, you know, you may have to continue to tame that, whether it's your own ego or someone else's, or your own being flustered by others, right? The old way of being, old habits, old self-talk, old patterns. Habitual routines that are solely for satisfying the part of the ego or the egoic relationship that you hope to quiet, right? Have to change, have to completely change, transform, reborn. Your relationship with that egoic energy, whomever it belongs to, either has to totally change or, well, totally transform so that it can be reborn, or just simply die. It has to go away for you to continue to progress, for you to continue to listen to your intuition, head down this path, see the reversal of fortune, and then the next reward and the next reward and the next reward. It's for your own development, evolution, and progress. It has to change. It has to be gone. So it will completely transform into something else, be totally transmuted into something else, or go somewhere else, right? Or just be left behind in general. So I think that that you definitely get the point now. I mean, I think I've said it over and over enough now. Thank you so much just for checking the reading out, and I do hope that the needed insight was able to reach you, at least some of it. If you are interested in a personal reading or learning more about the channel, etc., just scroll down to the description box down below. As always, I love you, Sagittarius. I do hope that you continue to make the most of Pisces season. I hope to have a new moon reading up for you very soon. Pisces New Moon reading. Of course, that is in just a day now. That's on the 23rd. So I hope to do that as soon as possible. And yeah, thank you again for all of your support, as always. Bye, Sagittarius.